My father came, not for spice, not for riches.
I activate Mystical Space Typhoon!
Cut! Wind guy! I told you guys, he shouldn't be in windy movies. Freaking told you guys.
What's up guys? Welcome back to Toon, Duelists. In this video I'm going to show you a basic combo of our Radiant Typhoon deck profile, and afterwards we're gonna draw some test hands to show you how this deck can really do some combos and what shenanigans you can do with this deck. Before we start, I just want to mention, of course, a lot of people played with Runic and the reasons are obvious. It revolves around quick play spells, so yeah, Runic is kind of obvious. Now for the reason why I don't do this, I don't think the deck deserves this. Runic would probably just swallow it up, and the deck is good enough without any Runic in it. So yeah, first of all, that's the reason why I don't do this, and of course the combos are way more fun if you don't play Runic in here. So yeah, my recommendation, especially for the fun, I don't know about the power level, but for the fun part, definitely it's more fun playing it pure. Trust me on that one. So I'm super excited to show it to you guys. If you haven't checked out the deck profile, definitely do it with the link in the description so you know what I'm working with right here. And of course, if you haven't already, definitely consider liking and subscribing. This would really mean a lot. We're on our way to 1K subscriptions and we want to reach this goal until the end of this year, so your help is heavily appreciated. And without further ado, let's dive right into it. Alright, so for your basic combo, it's basically two 1.5 card combos. You either need Eldam or Swen. Now you have to keep in mind, you run 3 Swen plus 3 Tenki, so you have 6 Swen in deck and you have 3 Eldam, and you of course have your Searcher for both, so not really hard to get to this hand, and you need any quick spell. It doesn't really matter too much. If you start with Swen in your hand, you special summon him out with its own effect. Add Chant, and Chant adds you Eldam, or of course you can save this if you just start with Eldam right away. You're gonna special summon Eldam anyhow, and you're gonna add, of course, your Crocea. Now next up, you're gonna activate your quick spell. It doesn't really matter what it is. Book of Moon can work, just book Eldam. Chalice works, it doesn't really matter at this point. And once you do, you special summon Crocea. Now Crocea lets you add, of course, a Mystical Space Typhoon and any other Radiant Typhoon card, which in the very basic combo could be, for example, your Varuron. Now, why Varuron? Because once you activate MST, either to shoot one of your own cards or one of your opponents, but once you do this, you bring out your Vortex, and of course with MST in grave you have a monster negate anywhere on the field right now. So that's the really basic play you can do. Of course, with more cards in hand, this gets even more powerful. And that's what I'm about to show you in the test hand. So let's dive right into it. All right, guys, test hand number 1. This is going to be fun. Let's see what we can do with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty, in this specific scenario, we're gonna, of course, special summon our Eldam. And we're gonna activate Eldam's effect. Now, since we already have Crocea in hand, it would probably be the best idea to add a Swen with your Eldam. Now you're gonna activate Swen's effect, special summon, and you're gonna search, of course. Now you could search for Vision for more draw power, but actually I would probably go for Chant. If you haven't used it, Chant is most of the time the better idea. Now, what are you going to do? You're going to activate Chant to search, of course, your last remaining level 3 Radiant Typhoon monster, which is Megala. Now you can chain Crocea. Crocea's effect will activate and you can search a MST. And in this scenario, it would probably also be a good idea to add a Manifestation. Why Manifestation, you might ask? Because you can now special summon your Megala, of course, and now activate Manifestation. You foolish one of your monsters, let's say for example your Phoenix, and with Megala you can now special summon from your deck your Vortex. Now, one thing I misplayed, actually, you should have done this first, my bad, because Vortex isn't live yet. You don't have an MST in your graveyard, so the monster negate isn't live. Of course you have it in your hand, you can activate it any turn, but before you bring out Vortex, you should of course use those two for one bamboozling shadow right here. So you're nip proof, of course. Now you've brought out Vortex, and now you can basically end it right here. You set Featherstone. Crocea is on the field. It's basically already game over. You set those two, and that's where you end your turn. And whenever... Oh, yes, yeah, we have our Phoenix in grave. So what do we have on field? We have a monster negate or both player draw one. Whenever we feel like it, we can of course negate all his monster effects. So this card alone wins the duel right here. Chalice is pretty useless, but for now at least. But we can still activate our MST. Shoot our own card, shoot one of the opponent, doesn't really matter. And once we do, we will bring out our Phoenix. And of course, with MST now in the grave, our Vortex is live. And we have another monster negate and an Ash in hand. So yeah, as you can see, easy to play and amazing and board in my opinion. Alright guys, test hand number 2. Let's see what we can do. With those pretty 5. Alright. Okay. So in this specific scenario, this is actually not that easy. I gotta be honest. Now, in this case, you would of course special summon Megala. Now the thing is, Megala is basically dead because you don't have a Radiant Typhoon spell in hand and you don't have an MST. So you can't special summon with it. Now of course, if your opponent decides to play any hand trap for whatever reason and you can activate Call by the Grave, this would be great. But he basically won't at this point. So you just activate your Book of Moon to book your own Megala. This will now allow you to activate 1 and 2 effects. You can bring out Crocea, and no, actually I don't think you can bring out Vortex as well because it misses timing. I don't think this is legal, but definitely let me know in the comments. It doesn't really bother us anyway because Crocea is the important one. Definitely bring out Crocea. I don't think you can bring out Vortex. I think it misses timing. But let me know in the comments if you're a judge or know better than I do, which is not that hard. Yeah, you're gonna add with Crocea anyway MST and of course Sven right here, and Sven brings you back into the game. You can now special summon Sven. Sven activates and you're gonna search Chant. You're gonna activate Chant and of course add Eldam. Now for sure you can bring out Vortex and you special summon Eldam, and Eldam is gonna add your Phoenix. Now you have all Radiant Typhoon monsters assembled in one single turn. This is just crazy good. And next thing you can of course or want to do now is obviously once again go into your shadow right here and now just set your both spells and traps. You haven't normal summoned yet. You could technically also normal summon your Phoenix. The question is if you really want to, because with 2 quick spells right here, you're basically pretty safe. So what do you have on field? Whenever your opponent activates a monster effect, you can negate it right here. When you get the chance to, you definitely want to activate MST. So your Vortex right here is live. If this one is in the grave, and with this activated, you can bring out Phoenix. And whenever the chance is there, you can activate Call by the Grave. He will have a monster in his graveyard by any point for sure. And then you can just shuffle 2 cards into the deck. This deck is just powerful. It's super powerful. It's super fun to play. And as you can see, the combos don't take long, but are super effective. All right, guys, test hand number 3. Let's see. Okay, dokie. What do we have right here? Once again, tough, but doable. We're gonna, of course, special summon Megala. Now you can't get around this. Activate Book of Moon, book your own Megala, special summon Crocea because a quick play spell was activated and you activate Crocea's effect. You're gonna add Sven and an MST. Now you can, for example, special summon Sven, activate its effect of course, and add Chant. Now you can special summon Megala. Now is of course the point where you can choose to be risky. You can get yourself nip-proofed. Now go into a Bamboozling Shadow, you're nip-proof. If you're not afraid of nip, you don't want to do this actually because you first of course want to get the benefits of Megala's effect by activating Chant now to of course add your Eldam right here. This will activate Megala's effect and you can special summon from your deck 1 Phonics. Now, of course, you use those two for your Shadow. Special Eldom, activate Eldom's effect, add another one, and this is going to be your Vortex. And now what you can do is, or want to do, is activate your Mandate and your MST right here. So what can you do in your own turn? Now, of course, I have to mention this. Once you set this, you could possibly activate MST, shoot your own Spell and Trap. This would, of course, set it again to bring out your Vortex, and Vortex is live because MST is in the grave. You could do this, but I wouldn't recommend it actually, because you have a Monster Negate right here. This one, once you activate it, is a free draw once MST is in the grave. You might want to think about it, of course, because yes, with Vortex you want MST in your grave. But yeah, you don't really need it that much. But activating MST in your own turn is the better choice, because obviously, once your opponent built a little board, you can have one Monster Negate, obviously. And once he does, you can activate MST, shoot your own trap if you have to shuffle 2 cards into the deck. Then Vortex can still special summon itself. MST is now in the grave. This one is set again because it's shoot with MST. And you have a live Vortex now back again. So once again, simple but powerful. And that's why I love this deck so much. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, definitely leave a like and a subscription. This would really help us a lot. We want to reach 1K until the end of this year, so every help is heavily appreciated. And why not help out a fellow duelist? It's totally free. Then of course, don't forget to let me know what you think about those combos and test hands down in the comments. We always love to read and answer your comments, of course. And also, if you want to see how this deck really performs, don't forget to check out the Nexus replays with the link in the description. And yeah, I'd say, until next time, have a good one.